I imagine some of you will click on this thinking, Spoon, have you been hitting the breakfast whiskey again? Yes, but that's neither here nor there. I've had these thoughts sober. But anyway, before I get further into this one, people have been asking me about where they can donate because of current issues. Look, I don't even know what's going on with that right now. It's all still very much up in the air, so do please hold off on anything. Besides, you guys have more important things to worry about than some faceless git like me giving my 2 cents on anything. And yes, I'm aware it's because you guys care. I do appreciate it. People have been asking me for a crowdfund or where they can donate, a Patreon or something. I've had a Patreon for like 6 months now. I just never advertised it in any video. As far as I'm aware, I could be wrong, but anyway, I had to say something because if I didn't and I went AWOL or the videos changed or stopped, people would be asking me what the hell is going on, and obviously I can't ignore it and say nothing is wrong because I would be lying, and that's something a chick would do, and I have far too much penis for that. Anyway, watch this.
The CEO of the MTA says that 1% of subway suspects are responsible for more than 20% of the crime because of New York's bail reform laws, which allows them to go back out there and commit more crimes. But there was just a crime on Long Island where body parts were found all over Long Island. They had 4 suspects. They let them go. And now they're out there still. So what is the deal here? It sounds insane to me.
You know what's insane to me? The women on The View are making sense, and they're bringing on a Democratic governor, aka Cruella de Vil, and badgering her. What the fuck? That is some weird Twilight Zone shit.
Dismembering a corpse and hiding a corpse after dismembering it. Not bail eligible. Not a serious crime. I'm not even kidding, guys. Like when Joy Behar outlined that case, I was like, she's crazy. This isn't a thing. This isn't real. This isn't real. So I looked it up. It's real, guys. It's real. Listen, if being on the left means supporting this, then I'm not on the left, and I'm okay with that.
It was at this moment the activists were activated.
So let me give you the details of the case.
It doesn't mean that.
Okay, I don't know. Let me give you the details.
On the left. We're all on the left. We don't want people dismembering folks getting released. Only a couple of lunatic.
Some do.
I know. What I was in the middle of saying is only a couple of lunatic activists are like, yeah, we're pro-dismemberment guys being let go.
Yeah, your party has insane lunatics, Jank. We'll get to that one a bit later. Now, I'm trying to keep this video somewhat family-friendly here. Anna goes on to describe some of the grim details of the case, which legitimately amounts to Amityville horror kind of grim, which is ironic considering this actually took place in Amityville. Go look up the case for yourself. My advice, do not eat before because it is rather disturbing. Now, the attorney representing the gruesome accused admitted they live in the location where the crimes took place, but denied the dismemberment. All 4 involved, the judge released them without bail, fitted with GPS trackers, and must report to in-person probation and surrender their passports. If you don't believe me, watch the TYT segment for yourself. That's a quote. This is Anna's reaction to that news.
What are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing, Jank? What are we doing? What are we doing? Someone tell me, what the F are we doing?
Yeah, look, no one signed up for this. I don't know how the hell any of these laws passed. I went to every progressive conference there was over the last 20 years. I never heard a single person saying, why don't we let the actual criminals go?
Did they defend those who did the damage during the summer of mostly peaceful protests? I don't know, by the way, I'm genuinely asking.
Come at me right now and tell me I'm the bad guy because I want these people who dismembered corpses and tried to conceal the evidence in prison. Come at me and tell me I'm the bad guy. Come at me.
Look, guys.
Insane, you guys are insane. Anyone who thinks this is okay is insane. And everyone else in New York has to suffer the consequences of this with random bag checks at the subway by National Guard troops.
I'm actually enjoying the freaker. It is pretty funny.
At a time where we have the right wing, which has lost its mind, you're taking good people that would normally be on the left and driving them to the right wing with this madness.
Cenk, how exactly has the right lost their minds? You're literally doing a segment on the madness of the left wing and how they're going insane, and you don't think the right would capitalize on that? And that's not even for political power. No. The citizenry would naturally gravitate towards any power that promises to restore a sense of sanity.
And no one agreed to it. I don't mean the voters. I mean on the left. When did we have a vote? When did we decide in a primary or a ballot measure that we should do any of this. I never once heard it at any progressive get-together, any progressive, no one has ever proposed this. All of a sudden, in 2019, these activists popped up in all these cities, and they're like, okay, you know what, like.
How did they succeed? I want to know.
They got massive funding. Where the hell did the money come from?
George Soros, aren't you guys supposed to be a news outlet of some kind? There's a glorified shit-posting South African living in Europe who could run rings around you two yahoos. And they go on to discuss how certain violent offenses have been downgraded to non-violent offenses, and violent offenders are at this point basically a revolving door over in New York. You get the picture. But Anna, as she pointed out in the beginning there with the some do, and tweeted out a couple of yahoos on the Twitter who immediately called the segment Cenk and Anna did right-wing propaganda. I do wonder if they'll talk about Kathy Hochul deploying the National Guard in the subway as so-called propaganda. Somehow I doubt that. Listen to this.
Insanity. It's insanity. It's insanity. You know what it is, Gavin? You know what's really crazy about all these lunatic activists? All the insanity. It's insanity. Oh man, these Democrats and all their insanity. These left-flank people. This is the Progressive News Network, by the way. Indistinguishable from Fox News on this issue, I might add up. You might as the insanity is you sound like Sean Hannity when you talk about this issue. If we want to do a little bit of antiquated humor here.
I have no idea who these idiots are, and I would like to keep it that way, frankly. If you think Anna and Cenk sound like Fox News, you've lost the plot. Hell, if you think dealing adequately with violent criminals is somehow connected to any political faction, I honestly don't even know what to do with that, except advocate that you spend the rest of your life in a padded cell, maybe. I mean, look at them. They look like two trust fund hippie NIMBYists. Not a lick of sense between them. See, this is the problem with giving everyone access to the internet. You get to see demoralizing levels that showcase the plummeting quality of human stock. Modernity cranks out legitimately unimpressive human specimens. I will even openly say this. I look at this and the elitism in the back of my mind goes, nothing you two say will ever be of any value to society, and no one should ever listen to you two ever. The clip I just played there, most of it is just like that. It's utterly nonsensical word salad. It is pure mind rot, space brains, plain and simple. Which brings me to Anna. Now, the situation with Anna, I find kind of interesting, because I've watched her on and off over the last couple of years, and I've seen her have a go at every sacred cow of the left in the past, say, 2 or 3 years especially. And yet she keeps going back. Now, don't get it twisted, I'm not defending her because I fancy her or anything. You don't know how I feel about the XXs in politics. The two must never meet, because when they do, oh hello, symphony of destruction. Dear God, no, the woman is wound tighter than the hairbun. She's nuts. No, I find Anna fascinating more so in an avatar kind of sense, because she's been at this gig for, well, frankly, far too long. And she does the usual spiel at the right. It's very routine. It's this kind of, yeah, whatever, this is standard protocol. There's a certain falsity to her harpiness because it is just business as usual. It's something she's been conditioned into accepting both politically and ideologically. However, when she has her eye aimed at the left, there is a noticeable level of animation that I think is legitimate angst, because I think she is actually a genuine believer in left-wing idealism. Now, the problem is, of course, this is cultish nonsense. It's not real. And she is delusional and completely detached from the realities of the world and the dynamics of power. Which is why, when the arch nemesis of leftism, reality, emerges and just maws her idealism into oblivion, her reaction comes from a profoundly personal place. I don't think she's a bad person. You get the types that gravitate towards this ideology because they're just psychopathic who desire power, and I never quite got that vibe from Anna, believe it or not. I do actually believe she means well, but she can't separate the meaning and doing well from her own political faction. Doing good in her mind is exclusively a left-wing phenomenon, which sort of brings me to the dynamics of politics in our timeline. Now, you will know one of the things I detest about modern-day politics is the faction warring. Western politics is a business after all, and as such, you get the impression a lot of people, especially leftists, are always paid off in some way or another, especially when their entire worldview is predicated on rejecting reality for the sake of a narrative and/or accruing political power. They either gravitate towards it because it's the social currency of the regime which gives them some kind of status, or they do so in the hopes that their capacity to capture eyeballs might lead to a fiscal payoff. No one seems to have any values outside of the regime, And then we wonder why everyone is so terribly cynical these days. And this is why I will criticize anything. Normally in our timeline, this would be considered trying to stay centrist or remain balanced, whereas I will openly declare centrism is cringe and bollocks. Thankfully, this doesn't apply to me. But again, Anna's situation is a curious one, because she's not one person, she's half the face of a well-known brand. She can't just leave and be a lone voice in the wind. She'll be branded by her own as a traitor, and prominent so-called right-wing figures will defend her as a way to court her, which in the grand scheme of things will probably make the whole situation worse and look kinda coordinated, no matter how genuine and authentic the defense might be. Couple this sort of personality-heavy faction dynamic with her own personal history, and you have Anna's current dilemma. Anna's been a prominent face of progressivism for so long, invested so much, that for her to admit it's caused the hell that's currently pissing her off so much would be an admission that bears an immense personal burden of responsibility that would eat her alive. However, if she doesn't, she looks increasingly to the point of disturbing naive as more and more people look at her outbursts and ask, "You helped cause all of this. Why the hell are you with these people? How can you not put two and two together over here and realize you do not have the power to deviate or make this stop? You will go down with the ship." Not only that uncertainty of where she would go professionally if she happened to leave TYT, I think is the main thing that scares her so much. But she needs to just take the plunge. Might take her a while to find her feet, sure, but ultimately I think she would be alright. As much as I may find her conduct distasteful at times, I do think that's a product of frustration of trying to constantly swim upstream. Her biggest problem, being a female and progressive, naturally, she is very susceptible to groupthink. I was watching her a couple of months ago on one of Hot Bastard's stream, shout out to him for featuring one of my videos by the way, and she went to town on the Biden regime's banking proposals. And I thought, where is Anna and what have you done with her? Because this version I do like a lot better. When she flies solo, she definitely has the chance to be a credible journalistic figure in her own right. And she really should. Don't get it twisted though, if she continues to stay on at TYT, she is going to drive herself crazy. More so than she already has. Cheers for watching, and once again, I apologize for nothing.